Hey everyone, it's Julie Hutchison here from Think, Be, Do Leadership, and welcome to part 2 of how to create the ultimate team performance engine for introvert leaders and quiet business owners. Or is it the other way around? But anyway, that's what we're talking about today. And yesterday, let me share my screen. Yesterday we were talking about the main 3 elements of creating team performance, and I shared with you my team performance engine. So let's find it again today. I'm going to struggle a little bit today, hang on, because for some reason my screen's not liking me, but let's see what we can do. Okay, here we go. So we said that the main thing that we need to do, hang on, share screen is not working. Hang on. I found it now, there we go. Okay, so the main thing that we need to do to create team performance is this lovely circle with the triangle in the middle. I said, but hang on, we'll get it to be where we want it to be. So we said team performance. What we need is we need to remove the can't do, we need to remove the don't do, and we need to remove the won't do. And the way in which we were doing that is, messing with my screen, is to get people enabled, engaged, and excited. Well, I said it the wrong way around. And in order to do that, we need to give them confidence, direction, and create trust. And that's where we were yesterday. Okay. So for anyone listening, can you tell me if you can see my screen? I think you can now. It's messing me around today. So what we want to do today is to say, well, that's all very nice, Julie, but what's under that then? How do we do that? And I'm going to talk about one side of this, so one side, which is the can't do. Okay, because what I see a lot of leaders doing, particularly quiet leaders, is not necessarily being able to grow people's confidence to be able to step up in the roles that they want to step up in. And what that means is that you're still doing too much. You're still doing it yourself. And because people don't have that confidence to go ahead and give it a go. They don't have the confidence to take a risk and sort of think, oh, I'll do this. I will do it. I'll give it a whirl. And they don't do that. So what we need to do is three things. And quite often leaders look at one of these 3 things, but they don't look at all 3 of these things. So let's see if I can just pop on to where we want to go now. So what I want to show you is this. The 3 things that we need are capability, autonomy, and clarity. So let me tell you a little bit about what I mean by that. Well, first of all, the easy bit, capability. Can people actually do what you want them to do? Okay, so technically, we need to grow those skills. We need to show them what it is that to do and to give them the skill. And you might find that they've got plenty of skill, but they don't actually feel like they've got plenty of skill. And this is where the other 2 come in, autonomy and clarity. So quite often we see people who are able to tell people what to do, but we need to change that to creating a confidence and an autonomous ability to make decisions. And the way in which we do that is to coach people instead of tell people. And here we need to do that, because if we don't, people don't want to take a risk. They don't feel like they know how to make a good decision. They know what to do, but they don't know how to do it and how to say, oh, if it's not exactly as I thought it was going to be, how do I make it work? Okay. But when we change that to a coaching style, then what happens is people are able to look at a problem and ask themselves a question and make a good decision. So confidence is born out of not just capability, as in I can do I'm going to pick a job now, sandwich making, for example. I know how to make a sandwich, but I know how to make a sandwich and make it different if needed, or to tweak it, or to, why am I talking about sandwiches? I do not know. But this autonomy is so important, because if we're just going to create capable robots, then you're still going to need to dip in all the time. You're still going to have to be there all the time. And as the leader, that's not what you want. You want to be able to step back. So to enable people to make good decisions, and that's where I think that we need to be thinking, is if you want them to make good decisions, is to create capability and autonomy. Now, tomorrow I'm going to talk about the other side of the that triangle at the top there, the don't do and the being excited for the direction that you want to take them, the big picture. But here what I'm also talking about is this clarity. Okay, and if you don't have clarity, then it doesn't matter if you've got capability, even a bit of autonomy, you won't have confidence and enabled people. So you'll still be doing it yourself, which is never good. Okay, so the clarity is about let's talk about the recipe, let's say, for, I'll go back to my sandwiches, recipe for the sandwich, okay, which is what does good look like? What goes into the recipe for making the sandwich or the widget or the spreadsheet or whatever it might be. And what we find is that so many businesses are not clear on what does good look like. How do I know I've done it correctly? So we're not clear about what we're looking for. We're not clear about exactly how we would like something done. So big picture might be, I want us to make the world's best chocolate cake, but clarity here is about for example, a KPI, of like, we need to make this many an hour. We need it to look like, I don't know, cheese and pickle or hummus and falafel would be my one. We need, what do we need in this sandwich? What do we need in this machine? What do we need in this thing that we want you to do? How exactly, specifically, do we need it to be? Okay, and when people have capability and clarity, those two, then that's great because they physically can do it and they know what they're supposed to produce. But sometimes that's still not enough. We have to go to this autonomy of how do I create somebody's ability to make good decisions and be confident to be able to take risks, be able to do it differently. So it's these three things here, capability, autonomy, and clarity, which means that you'll get confident people who are enabled. So this can't do section of the problem is removed, because when somebody says, well, I know how to make a sandwich, I know what we're looking for, I know what it's going to be like, I know what my sandwich shop really is supposed to be producing and the way in which we want to produce it. I know that, the owner likes a bit of salt and pepper on these ones and he wants it to look pretty, whatever the thing is. Yeah. And autonomy is, I know my boss has got my back and he's going to support me and show me how, but he's going to let me get on with it. Now, let me ask you guys, for any of you who are listening, by all means, comment, by the way, if you agree or disagree. I don't mind. But here, what we're looking for is somebody who will let people get on with it. And so show them the way, walk with them, but then be able to step back here. Okay, so we want you to be able to do that. And here what we do is we coach people rather than train them to come back and ask you every time. So we coach them to make good decisions and to think about problems for themselves rather than just telling them what to do. Does that make sense? There's a couple of you on your live. And if you're not on live and you're watching this on replay, then just bob in the comments replay so I know. And also, if that makes sense to you. So capability, autonomy and clarity will build that confident, enabled person. So they don't say, well, I can't do it. I didn't do it because I couldn't do it. I didn't know what to do. Okay, that's one side of that triangle. And obviously, I'm talking about coaching them, being really clear with the KPIs and your triggers on what it is you want them to do on a daily basis and showing somebody how to do the job. Now, we haven't got time to tell you how to do all of those things. And reality is these conversations are the conversations that we have in the Leaders Launchpad, which is a 12-month program that we run to go through all of this in depth so that you don't have to make it difficult for yourself. You don't have to try and solve this for yourself. You actually can apply these tools and all of these 9 accelerators to mean that you are able to implement this in your business or in your team, in whichever organization you work in. Okay, so if that's something that you want to be able to implement, then for a start, join the Facebook group, because that's where we'll talk about this even more. In fact, there you go. I'll put it in the comments as well. I'll put a link to it in the comments underneath. But join the Facebook group, because it's Quiet Leaders Facebook group, where you're going to see more of this, more explanation, and we're going to have conversations about being a leader in your business. The other thing is if you want to be part of that, we've got a new cohort starting in April. So by all means, give me a shout if it's something that you want to have a discuss to see whether it's something that you would be a fit for. Please message me. privately and we can have a conversation. But the first thing is join the group because it's very easy to get more information from there as well. Okay, so tomorrow, oh no, not tomorrow, because it's Saturday tomorrow and I don't want you working, because we should not work too much. We should work when we want to work. I will see you on Monday at 1 p.m. again for the top right of this beautiful diagram that I so beautifully color-coded for you. So if that's been of use, then please comment below and let me know what you think your thoughts are, and ask yourself the question now: how well do I enable and give confidence to my team? Or you can ask yourself, how does my boss do this to me? And then you can break it down to capability, autonomy, and clarity. So I'm Julie Hutchison, Think, Be, Do Leadership. If you want to join the Leaders Launchpad, message me. If you want to join the Facebook group, then it's on the screen, but I'll pop it in the comments so you can just click the link. Have a wonderful Friday afternoon. It's 14 minutes past 1 and time for a chill out, I think. Can we do that on a Friday afternoon? Maybe some lunch. Anyway, have a lovely afternoon and I will speak to you all soon. Take care.